What's up? What's up? We're back. We're back. The Progression Podcast, man. And I'm so glad to be here. This is not an act. And this is a serious topic we're going to talk about today, man. It's a serious topic. Now, a lot of people might think I'm bragging on this topic or have too much confidence on this topic, right? But I'm going to give it to you. When God gave it to me last week and I started writing on it, I was reluctant to do it, but today I'm shooting it and I say I'm going to do it. Like I said, you with the Progression Podcast, man. My name 007. You know me from the Fifth Ward Boys, man. The Progression Podcast, we teach on liberation, education, and elevation. I was liberated from the street life, educated in a prison system, and elevated once I gave my life to Jesus Christ. Man, shout out to the people at Josiah's house. They doing a whole bunch of stuff. That ministry is on the move, man. Thank y'all for what y'all do in the community. Thank y'all for doing. We got some things up, man, that's coming up, and it's going to be some great stuff happening, right? So I like to start with my theme scripture, 2 Corinthians 5:17. I ain't put the 5:17 on there, but now I know. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are brand new. That means when you give your life to Jesus Christ, you're a new creation. You're a new person, man. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are brand new. And that's kind of what this subject is talking about today. The subject I'm talking about today is going to be deep. I'm going to turn this music down because, this music, y'all in the back room, y'all turn that music down, my producers and stuff. They think I have producers, but I'm controlling everything. One day I'm going to have a whole nother room with some people in there controlling this stuff, right? But I want to tell you what the name of this thing called, man. The name of this is called The Black Sheep to the Blueprint. The Black Sheep to the Blueprint. Let me tell you something, man. Back in the days, man, I was known as the black sheep of the family, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it was a well-deserved term for me, man, because a lot of my family, they was like, in the streets we call them squares, you know what I'm saying? And nowadays I know squares, that mean a real life. I don't look at it as stupid or nothing like that. But they were squares, but I was the black sheep of the family. I was the one taking risks out there in the streets, doing all kind of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, right? So I was the black sheep of the family, and that, it fit me, you know. I ain't get mad at it because that was me. I kind of know that was me, right? So now I got to tell y'all how I got to be the blueprint of the family now. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to show how to make it out in this world and do the right thing, right? And I tell you all the time, man, new creature, new creation. But I'm gonna just go through it. I'm gonna go through it. I gotta go to 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. I know people use this all the time, but it is the realest, one of the realest scriptures, man, in the world, right? 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. When I was a child, man, I spoke as a child. Now, this is a thing I used to say little stupid stuff out my mouth, curse and all that kind of stuff. And people like, oh, you curse. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? It was something happened to me that I had stopped cursing. It's just not in my vocabulary no more. I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. Children don't kind of know things, you know what I'm saying? They understand and don't reach a level. I understood as a child. And I thought as a child, the things I wanted that I think I wanted that was in my mind, man, it really didn't mean nothing, man. Right? So I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Let's get into it, man, real quick. The black sheep to the blueprint. You can be the blueprint after you give up that black sheep life. Let me tell you what I was. I was baptized in public. Man, everybody knew about my robberies. They knew about me going to prison. Both times I went to prison, they knew about it. Everybody knew about it because, I had a little bit of visibility as a Fifth Ward boy. You know what I'm saying? As a worldwide, I was worldwide too, rapper, having albums worldwide that was selling, that were doing great, but I didn't know how to separate the streets from the studio, and I let it mix together. And how many of y'all know that when you let the streets and the studio mix together, one gotta go, one gonna have to go. Like when the Bible say you can't serve two masters, in the Bible, it's talking about God and the devil. I'm talking about I was serving six masters, and it wasn't no God. You know what I'm saying? In that picture, I was serving myself. I was serving cars. I was serving jewelry. I was serving women. I was serving my ego. I was serving a house. I was serving all that stuff. And God was an afterthought. I used to say it out my mouth, but really that was an afterthought. But let me tell you why I say I was baptized in public. The more visibility, the more scrutiny. The more you're seen, the more people have an opinion about it. If you're in the hood and you just stuck and you don't come outside, don't nobody know you. So, you don't get no scrutiny. Like I used to see like people talk about LeBron James or people that's big, that's known. And then some people say, man, why so many people hate that dude? I know. I know why. The visibility. Man, you can see that dude all the time, man. And then it's going to breed some people to say, I'm not like him, so I hate him. I don't got the money he got, so I don't like him. Man, I heard rumors about me that was not true. And I was like, man, there's no way for me to defend that stuff because people going to believe what they going to believe, right? It was stuff going through the hoods, like stuff like, oh, he don't take care of his kids. He don't do this. He's smoking crack. He's snorting powder, which was lies. But I was snorting powder, but I wasn't smoking no crack. I was smoking weed, powder. I was doing all that stuff. But hey, God took me away from all that stuff. But like I say, the more visibility you have, the more scrutiny. Now I'm finna go down this road. I'm finna go down this road and tell you what I had. I had an identity crisis. I really didn't know who I was. Tell you the truth, I didn't know who I was. Like when we talk about drugs and all that kind of stuff, we not born with a habit. We learn habits, right? I had an identity crisis because I seen stuff that I wanted to do and I seen people that I wanted to be like I said, my first sign of success wasn't your Fortune 500 company owner. My first sign of success was the dude on the corner selling dope. The dude that was whooping people, that was my first sign of success. Those people that was having money, you know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. Now that I see it for all what it is, you know what I'm saying? Drake had a lyric back in the day. He say, "You had us fooled for a minute, now we all grown up." Hey man, a lot of those people I was looking up to and aspiring to be like did not have a future. They did not have a future. Either they would go to prison or they would get killed, turn into dope fiends, or they would just lose everything. And you see them now, you're like, oh man, that's a shell of a dude. But man, he used to be a hell of a dude back in the day. That's what we thought, right? I had an identity crisis, man. I didn't know who I was and whose I was. My grandmother sent me to church and all that stuff, but man, I wasn't really hearing that stuff because I wasn't seeing that. What the preacher was preaching, he was up there hooping, but man, I'm seeing death in my neighborhood. I'm seeing crack in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm seeing. I'm really not seeing the stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, me by having an identity crisis, like I say, I had got successful a little bit. I had made an album because I like music. I made an album that made me tour all over this country, tour across seas, and do all kind of stuff that I never thought that was possible for me to do coming from where I come from. I come from an impoverished neighborhood, but I did it. But one thing it did by me having that identity crisis, I had no seatbelt on. I was all gas, no brakes, no all green lights. I ain't never stopping. That's how I was. When my grandmother died, no seatbelt in. She was the voice of reasoning for me. Let me tell you about me going into the prison. Me going into the prison, and I talk about it a lot, it's the pregnancy. The prison is pregnant with me. I'm in there, right? So I'm in prison and I'm just, doing my time. I got me about 5 years to do, and I'm doing it. I got 2 Super Bowls left. I got 3 Super Bowls. You know how we used to do in the feds. We judge our years by Super Bowls, right? It was a pregnancy. I was in there. I was in the belly, but you know what? I wasn't learning nothing. I wasn't doing nothing with my time in those whole 5 years. I wasn't really doing nothing. I was working, in the little work they give you to do, but I really wasn't working, putting something in my mind. I wasn't really doing that. So when I got out, I had this little theory. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna pick up the Bible, but I'm gonna just be a good boy. I'm gonna just be a good boy. I'm gonna do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all that Jesus stuff, right? I'm gonna talk about premature birth. When a woman has a baby that's premature, right? When it comes out, it might come out light, the weight is off or something, like she might have it too early, and something, man, something might be wrong with the baby. That's exactly what was wrong with me. I had a premature birth. When I got out, just like the woman pushes the baby out, when I got out, I had wobbly legs. I didn't really know how to be a man. Oh, I was in my 30s, but I wasn't a man. Like them old folks say, breath and britches don't make you a man, right? So the premature birth happened, and within 1 year, before a year up, really, it was like 11 months, I was back in prison. But I was back in prison this time, and I'm like, man, I got to do something with my life. I really don't know what to do, right? So in that time, though, and I always tell this story to people, and it seems like woo to some people, but check this out. God came to me in a dream. Now, I never heard God audible. I've never heard that. You know how some people say, I heard God say, my son, go 2 steps forward. I've never heard that. But I was in a dream, and God came to me in a dream, and he said, you're going to do my will, or something bad is going to happen to you for a long time. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was jail or if it was death. I just didn't want no parts of it. So I say, man, you know what? I'm giving my life to Jesus Christ. That's it. So to be real with you, to be honest with you, I came to God out of fear. Not because I really wanted to be saved. I was scared of that dream. I came to him out of fear. So I was baby faking, pump faking, really. But then something happened. I started reading the Bible, and I had some dudes, some accountability dudes that was in there showing me the Bible, teaching me little stuff. And I was like, man, that's in the Bible. Man, that's in the Bible. It was like some amazing stories. And man, every day and night, I'm in that Bible, man. I'm in it, and I'm feeding myself. Now, this is when the full term birth happens. Hey man, I got the nutrients just like a pregnant woman. She gets the nutrients and stuff she has to make the baby strong inside her. That's what I was getting. I was getting nutrients to get myself straight when I get out this time. Because when I get out this time, God, He keep giving me chances, man. Every time that chance is going to get slimmer. And I understand that. So this time, full term birth, full term birth. Now I'm not telling y'all that I'm Jesus Jr. That I do everything right. I never say the wrong stuff to people. I don't get mad. I don't get upset, or or I make the right decisions every time. But man, this was a full term birth this time. Because let me tell you what happened once I got out. Got my life in order. I got my life in order. It was some things that was out of order that I was doing before I went to prison. I didn't put my priorities in the right order. Now, I thought those priorities was that foolishness stuff, but I put my priorities in order. Let me tell you what it does. And I heard this outward order contributes to inner calm. If you get your life right on the outside, you got to stop doing the habits that you have. You got to stop hanging around the places that you go that mean you no good. We talking about negative. The people that are negative, you got to stop hanging around them. You got to put your life in order. You got to put your life in order. And that's what happened. My outward order contributed to my inner calm. Some people look at me and say, man, golly, you don't know we about to perish, man. You don't see what's going on. Yeah, I see. But I done been through so much stuff harder than this. That's why that little stuff ain't nothing to me. I've been through some thunderstorms. These little raindrops ain't gonna do nothing. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And look, I want to thank y'all for subscribing. My new subscribers, I see y'all, I hear y'all, and I see what y'all asking for, and it's about to come. And I'm not gonna give it away because there's gonna be some people that pray against it. Hey, I'm gonna talk about my last thoughts. Like I say, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us, everywhere. Now, this is I got two last thoughts. I gave you a little soliloquy on how I went from the black sheep to the blueprint. Like I say, I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying the real. I could tell you how to do this thing. Now, how I did it was through Jesus Christ. That's how I seen it. And I did minister to some brothers. The fruit, I done seen the fruit, and the fruit done came out. You know what I'm saying? To some brothers that took my blueprint, that followed the instructions. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you I'm Jesus. I'm telling you to follow Jesus. Hey, I can tell you some stuff, some quick pointers out here in these streets, how to maneuver. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just here like when Jesus said fed the 5,000, they was complaining like, hey, how we gonna feed all these people? Jesus just said, sit the people down. So all they job was to do is sit the people down. That's all my job is. Sit down and watch Jesus do the miracle. Let me tell you about something, man. and it's hard to tell you, but you got to know it. Every next level comes with fewer old faces. I know it hurt. They been your homeboy, they been your homegirl since y'all was knee high to a grasshopper. Every next level comes with fewer old faces. This next level I'm going to, I see new people. I've been having meetings with new people, and it's great. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm reluctant when I'm in those meetings. Like me and my wife was in a meeting, the other day with some people, and you kind of be reluctant in there, like, hey, do I really trust these people with my ideas? Will they run off with them? But I gotta trust somebody. But every next level comes with fewer older faces or familiar faces, because everybody can't go. Now we love them from afar. Hey, everybody can't go to this next level. It's gonna be fewer older faces. Now it's some older faces that's on what I'm on. It's some older faces that are linking up with me. We doing some things. I'm telling you. And I love it, man. I love it. But let me tell you this, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. You gotta realize when you're walking in answered prayers. I did a show a few months ago about I owe. I owe. I owe a lot of people for the person that you see today. My grandmother prayed for me to leave the streets alone. And you know what I did for a minute? I got into music and that was all I was doing. But when I saw that the music business it's not really giving me the money that I needed to pair it with some. I had got me a side job, which was robbing. You know what I'm saying? I had to get me a side job. But my grandmother, she prayed for this, Andre. She prayed for this double O. And, a lot of people said, they say, man, if Juanita could see what you're doing now, I remember my wife, she said something about my parole officer, Ken Ford. I'll never forget his name. Uh, she said, man, you ought to call Ken. And I said, man, I ain't calling that dude a law. I'm still thorough. No, you know what I'm saying? But realize when you're walking in answered prayers, it was some stuff I asked for when I was in them four walls, man, that I see right now. I'm telling you, I see it, I realize it, I visualize it, and I see it. And I say, thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, God. Because that's the only way I see. I done tried every other way. A lot of people be like, man, I don't do that God stuff. Hey, man, I ain't tripping with you, dog. All I can tell you is how I did it. I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I got a hunger for more in that Bible. I started reading and doing my thing with that and attempting to at least follow some of the teachings of Jesus Christ. My mind, I'm messed up. My mind is an enemy to God. I'll be having all kind of stupid stuff going through my mind. But let me tell y'all, realize when you walk in the answered prayers, it's a lot of people that wanted to see me do good. I'm telling you, it was a lot of people. And I'm going to tell you one person, my wife. My wife saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, right? And I really salute her, and I don't tell her every day, but man, I really appreciate everything she did. She just saw me as this other person that I could be. And guess what? I'm that dude now. I'm the blueprint. I came from that, the black sheep to the blueprint. And man, I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting because it's real. Hey, follow me as I follow Jesus. For real, for real. I love y'all. Peace.